We're back on brand, baby. So, what lies below? Once again, I turned to the Twitter polling option to ask you guys what you'd rather see a video on. And it was between what lies below and things heard and seen, and you all seem to want this one more. And I'm upset. Could have been tackling a demon house, but here we are. And what lies below is not good. But when it was done, I was putting little pieces of information from all around the movie together for like at least another 30 minutes until I found an interview with the director that pretty much answered any question you could have. Because before that, I had talked myself into one particularly, it was stupid, but it was an interpretation that I was like, this seems like it makes sense. But then it was all just actually stupid. The director even said that he had looked around at a bunch of different theories and thought that some other people's theories were better than what he came up with. So I guess it can just be whatever you want it to be. It's out of his hands now. My friend Other Amanda at Swell Entertainment also covered this, but people had been asking me to watch it for so long that I didn't watch her video, sorry bestie, until I made my own. But I knew so little about this movie going into it that I thought that this was like Ali Larder or something. But let's get into it. So it starts with Libby, a teen at a summer camp where she, for some reason, is wearing PJ bottoms and reading a book called Exploring Lost Worlds, which I thought was going to be really significant, but apparently not. But right from the get-go, this movie just focuses on really odd things. Like somebody's just going through all these different camp kid names for some reason, but her mom is like just about to pick her up, so I don't know if that was just for like immersion or something. The extent of this scene seems to just be her making eye contact with this dude before this significantly younger kid tries to take a picture of her chest. And oh no, is that Mina Savari again? Girl, what happened between this and the murder of Nicole Brown Simpson? I just don't know I don't know. Like, we'll always have American Pie and Loser, but girl. But she's one of those moms who's like all about the boys. Asking if there was anyone cute at camp, about this guy named Tom, starts playing a song about boys.
I'm just saying it wouldn't kill you to maybe dress a bit sexier. You know?
Mom. Like, it's not just the cool mom dynamic, it feels more like the mom that knows she's cooler than you and would like to make you more like her. But to try to put a smile on Libby's face, she lets her drive without a permit. Because once again, she's like freshly 16 or something. Which is rough to believe because Emma Horvath, the actress who plays her, is 27. Like, what is this, Grease? Obviously, this is gonna go to some weird places, and I'm not saying I wanted an actual 16-year-old in this role, but like, if this is the demographics we can work with now, I'm gonna put my name in the hat for contention for some high schooler roles. Like, bring back Degrassi, it's my time to shine. But they get to the house, and it's this big lake cabin, and suddenly, there's a man. So her mother just surprised her with a boyfriend that she's been like obsessed with while the daughter was at camp. But she doesn't seem to mind too much. I can basically hear the porn music as he's walking out of the lake.
Holy crap.
Like, she clearly thinks he's hot, and the mom's like,
I know. I'm writing him constantly.
Ma'am, that is your 16-year-old daughter. Did you guys bamboozle me into watching another weird pseudo-porn? I'm gonna be so upset. This is not what I was expecting. So the boyfriend got her a gift, a Navajo bracelet that links back to the beginning of civilization because she's super into archaeology and also has symbolism linking to fertility. Because that's a normal gift to give your girlfriend's daughter. But now she's suddenly ready to get all dressed up. She's out with the pajama pants and into the sundress. Aw, someone's got a little crush, which wouldn't be as weird if he hadn't just gotten her a fertility bracelet. But she ends up asking how they met, and apparently he just rocked up out of the water while the mom was reading on the porch. And that house is out in the middle of nowheres. But he explains that it's because he's an aquatic geneticist, specifically working to help freshwater animals adapt to an increasingly saltwater world. Okay, look, I was told that this was a bad movie, not that I was gonna have a panic attack about the state of our world's impending doom. But he does this nice little science experiment and talks about how he's trying to speed up that evolutionary process, then starts coughing up a storm the second after he uses the fork that touched the salt. Oh my god, he's a snail man. The only reason why my head is immediately going to weird places is that the description of the movie specifically says that he doesn't seem quite human. And then, as she's going to bed, it looks like she's gonna start touching herself and just decides to have a Diet Cola instead. You know what they say, feeling the urge to make the Lord cry, have yourself a diet soda instead. And then she comes back upstairs. Instead of going right to bed, she decides to try to spy on them having sex? Like, I get that you find him attractive, but it is your mother on the other side of that situation. But the second she gets down there, the door starts opening, so she boots it back to her room and he goes to get water, then just stands there watching her sleep in the nude, I think. I also just looked up the character's name and it's John Smith, as in the colonizer, John Smith. Ooh. Okay, sorry if the lighting just drastically changed. I just got called away for like an hour and a half. There's a bunch of drama about the grandfather not wanting the mom in the divorce, but he left the whole house to Libby, but like they pulled up some like time capsule stuff. But after they fight, Libby goes on a walk and ends up getting bit by a centipede. And I remember seeing this clip somewhere. It's like I think it was doing rounds on Twitters or something. I don't remember what it was trying to express, but yeah. She's about to kill it, and then John's like, oh no, it's like a super rare species just protecting its young. And you know what? I don't give a shit. Burn the suckers. He says they're like venom. Like, no, burn it. But her and John end up hitting some common ground. She says she's gonna go check on her mom, but John points out that she wasn't feeling that great. And apparently her mom used to be an alcoholic, so Libby assumes that she's drinking again, but no, she just feels sick for some reason. Bet she's pregnant. And this is where the mom reveals that John asked her to marry him. And she said yes.
I need you to be okay, baby girl. Please don't call me that.
Ah, so Libby has also seen 365 days. Then it ends off with her saying that John thinks she's 35 and not 42. Oh no. I was also starting to think that this movie would have been sponsored by this soda company, but I'm pretty sure it's just like a fake generic brand that designed to look like Diet Coke, but it is not Diet Coke. And as she's casually looking outside, John just rocks up and just stops there really weird, and then it looks like he's drinking the sweat from his t-shirt. We'll come back to that later. But she's not weirded out enough by this, so she brings him down a Diet Cola to the basement, which he turns down because of the sodium. Oh no thanks, dear. I've had my share of sodium after that sweat I just drank. I don't actually think he was drinking a sweat. We'll get there. But he's doing experiments on lampreys in the basement, and lampreys are basically ancient parasitic fish that attach to other organisms to survive. They're super invasive, and some species live in both salt and fresh water, which is probably why he's studying them. One type apparently lives in salt water, but then migrates to fresh water to reproduce. Oh god, I don't like where this is going. But he also seems to have like a little hard-on for the lampreys.
It's beautiful.
You're kind of a weird dude.
Okay, she's still too old to play a 16-year-old, but she pulls off like that really awkward teenager vibe very well. I'm not usually a fan of anthology movies, but she's in something called the Mortuary Collection, which I actually thought was pretty good, so check it out if you get the chance. But he invites her to pull some samples from the lake, so they head out. She's talking about wanting to go to Cambridge for university, how good she's doing in school, and then her period starts. And he really quickly shoves his shirt on her, but then his hand comes away and it's covered in blood, so did he sneak a grab under there?
It's okay. We're both scientists, right?
See, that's great. Forward thinking, super nice. Don't make a big deal out of it. Oh my god, he's licking his hand.
It's no big deal.
Sir! What? Then he suddenly gets this like bright look in his eyes and he's like, you have some red in your hair. Did he taste her genetics? We saw a picture earlier that showed that the mom's hair is naturally red, so it would make sense that that's her natural hair color as well, but I don't like where this is going. I too have red in my hair. So she obviously goes to clean up and she's super creeped out, so she takes off the bracelet and there's like a thin red line around her wrist. Immediately I want to make a fake jewelry joke, but I'm guessing it's more sinister. He was all up about it being a fertility symbol. Oh my god, he's gonna try to bang her. Oh no, please no. Then he just walks into the bathroom, then pretends to leave when she's like, hi, bye, and starts smelling at her through the shower. Then starts smelling the bloody shirt. Ah! Okay, lampreys drink blood. Is he a lamprey man? What is going on? I was told aliens, but now I don't know. So she goes to talk to her mom and he's just in there rubbing her back in this really weird motion. So she tries to get into the basement to see if anything weird's going on, but the door's locked. Tries to call her best friend, but the reception is down. Luckily, they can like IM a little bit. And I know it's her best friend because it says Marley BFF in case you weren't sure. So she shuts herself in her room until John leaves her a pasta salad sandwich and a Diet Cola, her favorite meal of champions, with a note apologizing for being awkward. Oh yeah, awkward is totally how I would explain away licking period blood off your hand. Great job, dude, nailed it. Then she suddenly wakes up in the middle of the night to this glowing orange-red light and it looks like she only took a few bites of the sandwich. And John's just standing by the lake looking at the glowing light before he completely walks into the water and disappears. So she runs to get her mom, but the door's locked and she won't wake up. And instead of trying to break in, she walks out to the lake to try and see John, who is now suddenly behind her and twitches a bunch and then tries to play it off as sleepwalking. So again, he just plays all of this off as him being so awkward and anything that doesn't involve his research just not going well, and he just messes everything up.
Do you always lock the doors when you sleepwalk?
And now the downfall into absolute absurdity. She wakes up to her mom puking and she wants her to go drive without a license to get her a pregnancy test. And as she's getting it, she sees a guy who looks almost exactly like John, but with like a different beard and clothing, but with another girl. Another redheaded girl. So is it the same John or are there multiple Johns? Put your votes down below. I think there are multiple Johns. And these different Johns are just infiltrating the town and knocking up all the women to create, I don't know, salt-tolerant offspring. This is so dumb. So when she gets back, Marley's already there waiting for her. She brings her mom the stuff and she really doesn't want to leave her alone with John, even though John already knows that she might be pregnant.
Go hang out with your friend. She looks fun.
Ugh, I don't like that. Oh God. Then she sees his eye twitch out weird. So yeah, not human. Then the second she gets downstairs, the friend's like, oh my God, he's so hot. And then Libby's like, yeah, but he's also weird. He grabbed my hoo-ha when my period started. Because like, it looked like he just shoved the shirt there, but she's saying he actually grabbed and there was blood all over his hand. So I guess it would make sense as to why he was apologizing so profusely. So Marley's like, okay, I'm gonna go up there and tell him to chill and like explain everything to your mom. Because that's what your high school friend would do for you, totally alone. So Libby realizes she can't hear anything through the vents and decides to go have some pasta salad. And then it immediately cuts to her waking up hours later and the mom and John are just watching a movie. Oh my God, he drugged the pasta salad. Because they say Marley left hours ago, but they just couldn't wake her up. Probably drugged the mom too that other night, which is why Libby couldn't wake her up by banging on the door. And then they drop the news. She's preggers. And the mom is upset that Libby's not just like super immediately ecstatic.
We're pregnant. Oh.
Look, when I was like 17 or 18, my mom told my dad she was pregnant to help him get rid of his hiccups, and it scared me so much that it almost gave me the hiccups, so I can only imagine how it would feel when the guy that you just met 2 days ago apparently knocked up your mom. She obviously tries to tell her mom about the licking thing, but her mom thinks she's just lying and trying to make everything about her and ruin her life.
I'm done putting my life on hold for your feelings.
Mom of the fucking year here. Then Libby sees his eyes go crazy again, freaks out, and then Mina slaps her daughter.
I'm so sorry.
Are you okay?
Does this man have some kind of magic alien juice? Lamprey human hybrid attachment serum? Merman powers? She's like completely down to just believe this guy she just met. So Libby's way of trying to sabotage this is to be like, well, I hope you weren't planning on having more kids because she's not 35, she's 42. Oh, and he is not stoked.
John!
Let go.
And for some reason, the mom doesn't notice the fact that his eyes just did something super weird and she's just immediately like, I hate you, why are you trying to ruin my life? Then Libby hears something out on the roof, but never ends up seeing anything before she hears the mom and John having sex. Again? Look, pal, you already did the job. I don't think she can get second pregnant. I don't know, maybe she can. But then she sees something moving through his skin and he gives out this weird guttural scream growl. So she runs back to her room, hears something on the roof again, and then her mom and John are just gone. So she goes to check the light because she had seen the glowing light again and thinks she sees something, so she decides to use the car lights to get a better look and forgets to put it in park. There goes the escape method, champ. It's all downhill from here. You could also see the outline of something that looks like it could be a spaceship or something that's built into the floor of the lake. So she heads into the basement, and when she hits the blue light, the area that looked like a cut on her wrist is actually branded now. Then she sees her mom in some kind of birthing tank, and she also has the branding on her wrist where the watch that John gifted her was. He's literally tagging them like specimen. So the mom obviously starts screaming, which brings John back downstairs, and he now appears to be in alien form. And by alien form, I mean like Sasquatch feet. But I do say alien now with confidence because of one reason. The subtitle said in alien tone. So there's that mystery. I'll still go over some of the other theories later, but that puts that to rest. So to get to her mom, she had drug a large bin of salt over, which spilled some into the water that's on the ground, which starts to burn his weird alien feet, so he comes back with booties. Just in time for the mom to give birth to a little alien baby.
Don't be shy now.
And John is so ready to be dad of the year, but then something goes wrong. We don't know what, he just looks really pissed and upset at whatever is being born. Did something go wrong? Was it too human? Was it not human enough? Either way, he takes it outside and then spits this like glowing blue light into it. So Libby takes this opportunity to lock him out of the basement. And she realizes that he had a phone jammer set up, so she smashes that and calls the cops as he's trying to bust in. Then sees her dead friend being fed on by lampreys. Please do not tell me that they brought this poor girl into this movie for one scene to add a little bit of diversity so they could kill her off. But not just kill her off immediately after she was introduced for no apparent reason, literally 2 minutes before Libby goes and drugs herself with pasta. Also, why is it just his feet that are alien? Like, if you don't have the budget to go full alien, don't go foot alien. Like, they do creepy alien tongue, which is totally fine, that's all you needed. But she slams him with salt, which he does not like. Dude's a Snail-ien, not an alien. I'll stop. She gets the mom out of the tank, who obviously starts apologizing, a little bit too late for that now, but she's also like rapidly deteriorating. Like it looks like she's been left out in the middle of the ocean in the baking hot sun. She basically seems to be dying, which makes sense because John was like, hey, Libby, let me in. Like there's stuff in there that we need to keep your mom healthy.
Everything that you see in there, it's meant to help her.
So I don't know what that process does, but apparently it makes you incompatible with Earth life. I don't know. And I was right. Look at the multiple Johns all over. They're apparently super strong, super fast, so one jumps on them as her mom is dying, then she wakes up tied to a chair in the emptied out basement, and the Johns just start ripping out holes in the wall where there are these women, red-headed women, stored. Yo, he was a busy boy. So then he force feeds her a blue light thingy and she wakes up in a water coffin tomb that's filling up really fast next to the redheads that seem to be wrapped in some kind of cocoon. And then it ends with her smiling because she realizes she can breathe underwater, which is what that blue thing is. So whatever they did to the baby, they didn't kill it. Still have no idea why they were upset by the baby though. But yeah, that was kind of dumb, a little annoying, and weird. So let's go through some of it. At first I thought, alien. And then I thought, okay, maybe this is some kind of like long-lasting species that somehow lived in fresh water without humans knowing for ages. And now because like all the water temperatures and stuff is going out of whack, they need to find a way to adapt. So they're using the lampreys as inspiration. Then I thought maybe some kind of weird mermaid species because I got like merman on the brain after that 13th year video. And then they need to learn how to breed with humans to survive the growing climate changes, but then they all look the same. So it's clearly some kind of shape-shifting thing. Because Libby being obsessed with archaeology and reading a book about lost worlds was just kind of like, okay, yeah, lost worlds on Earth, things we don't know about, that all makes sense. Things could have just been coming out of the Earth because you know it's called What Lies Below, not What Comes From Above. I get that the ship's underwater, but still. But it is completely confirmed that it's aliens in the subtitles and by the director. After watching this movie, I found a very extensive interview with him by Entertainment Weekly that dishes it all out. Now, the reason why I kind of wanted to believe that there was some connection to the lampreys in this, which is still dumb, is because lampreys eat blood and he was like really interested by the blood. But I think he was just really studying how they're able to survive in both fresh and saltwater environments and what they could learn from that. Back when it looked like he was drinking his sweat, he was probably actually in the lake doing, you know, alien stuff. So he's probably just drinking the water from his shirt from that I don't know why they chose to, it's still stupid. Now the reason why they're all versions of this same person is that essentially the species that he is would have created him as some kind of like Venus flytrap to pull in women for these scientific experiments to see what their best breeding options were. So there's Science John, Hipster John, there's probably Twilight John somewheres out there. And the thing with the redhead is what a lot of people theorized. Redheads have slightly different genes, so you're like less likely to be affected by certain anesthesia. You're more likely to make your own vitamin D with less sunlight, so that would actually be a really good reason if they're shoving them underwater and stuff like that. Makes sense. But it's really just the idea that the aliens would have been testing specific genetic markers and maybe the markers in redheads are the only viable option for reproducing. I don't know. According to the director, it would specifically be to find the most viable choices of reproduction so that they can take over Earth, but they're still in the testing phase. But again, there's really no explanation as to like why they have a negative reaction to salt or sodium. Like sodium makes up so much of everything, but whatever, they're intolerant to salt, so I guess they want to develop a saltwater tolerance before the Earth sinks. Why they want to take over a sinking planet, I don't know. Like somehow aliens are still the dumber option when the other option is like human hybrid lampreys. Like I still think he's a mer-alien. Or a Snail-ien. Like, I feel like there was actually a lot of potential here, and they were obviously trying to make the audience feel uncomfortable, and they certainly succeeded, but I don't remotely think that it stuck the landing, and I think that I think that it might think it's smarter than it actually is. Or maybe it's super smart and I'm dumb. I don't know. I can definitely see why some people would like this though. It is very uncomfortable. It is very creepy in certain ways, but like mostly I'm just left with so many questions, most of which are about why Mina Subari keeps doing this kind of stuff. And the director's next project? Well, he's co-producing a movie called Succubus with Anna Elizabeth James, writer and director of Deadly Illusions. Everything is connected and I hate it. But that is gonna do it for today's video. Let me know what you guys are thinking down below. I was actually having a lot of fun trying to theorize different options around this, and then that interview just kind of like threw a wrench in it. It's aliens, and the subtitles it really just kind of got rid of it. And maybe it is an alien species that has been on Earth for a really long time that was hiding. I don't know, but that is What Lies Below, not a sequel or a follow-up to What Lies Beneath. I know a lot of people thought they were related, but they're not. But let me know what you guys are thinking down below. Thank you all so much for watching. Thanks as always to my Patreon supporters. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a like on the video if you're into that kind of thing. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. I'm mostly okay, and we'll catch you all later.